Hello, you have made probably one of the best decisions you're going to make all day. The decision being clicking on the Creative Connection podcast. If you haven't listened before, quite frankly, where on earth have you been? But if you haven't listened to it before, this is what it's all about. Each episode has a different creative guest on. I, Jared Emsee, I host it and I discuss with this guest all about the creative industry that they're in. So we talk about how they got there, the whole industry, and then there's a main focus around their in particular creative process. Because everyone has like a different creative process. Everyone interacts with their creativity different. And we are going to get to the bottom of it. I personally think it's really interesting to have these conversations and hopefully you're enjoying listening to them. Today's guest is Nicola Hume from Parts. Did I say from Part? I don't know. I just got back from the gym. I'm all of a diva, but she's our Heart Breakfast presenter. Really, really lovely person. We had a really interesting conversation kind of about her whole career up to date. Essentially, she went to acting school, drama school, I think technically is what we would call that. And then she spoke about all of her jobs up to getting at Heart Breakfast and kind of also end goal kind of stuff. But I think if radio in particular is something that you're interested in, whether that's just as a whole or whether you're interested in getting into it yourself, I think this episode is going to be really insightful for you. But I think even if it's not, it's still super interesting to hear about that process, because radio is something that you, even if it's just a secondary or tertiary media, you kind of consume radio a lot of the time during the day without even realizing it most of the time. So I think just for the general person, it's super interesting to hear about the kind of behind the scenes kind of stuff as well. Without further ado, I'm going to play the episode off. Hopefully you enjoy it. I'm going to meet you around the back and, we'll see what we think about that episode, shall we? This is Nicola Hume from Heart Breakfast.
Hey guys, Jared here. So I'm joined by Nicola Hume from HeartFM. We're going to have a nice little chat about things and stuff. Hey, so how are you doing? That's, yeah.
You know what? I'm using that.
That'll do. There's your intro.
That's my intro. Thanks, Nicola. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
This
is nice, isn't it?
Listen, this is quite a nice location, okay? It
is. It's lovely.
Fanciest location we've had yet.
Got a nice little view over Brighton.
Yeah.
Sun shining. Got the police sirens going on.
That's it. Yeah, you can tell we're in Brighton. Already stuff happening. Next to London in terms of like drama and police sirens and whatnot.
Yeah, it's exciting. And seagulls.
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started on seagulls.
Oh, mate, see, I don't live in Brighton. I live in Horsham.
Right.
But obviously, naturally, our radio studios are in Brighton.
Yeah.
So we arrive at 5 a.m. and the seagulls are going bananas.
Really?
At 5 o'clock in the morning, and you think, there was no way I could live here. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, they're mental. They're so scary as well.
Yeah.
I was out for dinner last night in Eastbourne. And literally, as we were finishing up, like the seagulls, they know when you're finishing up, they can tell.
They're sussing you out.
They are, they're working out. So there's this geezer just sitting up there, he's just looking out, he's watching us. He's kind of being subtle about it. I felt like we knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Literally, as soon as we left, just bombed the table, just like knocking over all our drinks, knocking over the salt and stuff.
What did you have to eat?
It was quite weird. So it was in Wetherspoons, right?
Yeah.
Did you know they have an app where you can just like order food from the table? You don't even have to speak to
I
them?
did.
It's so good. It's like mind-blowing. I've never done that before.
So what you could do is you could tweet out and you go, hey, I'm at Wetherspoons down in Eastbourne. Who wants to buy me a drink? And someone else will order a drink for you. Get it sent to your table.
Does that work?
I've tried it, but apparently you have to be a very young, beautiful girl to be able to get the free drinks. Mum.
So it'd be perfect for me?
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, that was really exciting. So I had like I didn't really feel like a burger, which is very unlike me. I like burgers, but I wouldn't feel like that. And there was like this weird like combo. It was like chicken breast with ribs, which feels like a weird like combination to me.
Yeah, kind of like just a meat feast kind of thing.
It's just weird that they served that, but I had that and it was actually pretty bomb.
Nice.
Good for the
Was there chips?
Yeah.
That's why the seagulls were there.
Really, they love chips.
Yeah, they're there for the chips,
It
man.
seems like they'll eat anything though.
Yeah, always there for the chips.
Really?
You got chips, you need to run for your life.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a seagull like dive bomb someone?
Dude, I had it in Brighton. Like a couple of years ago, I bought some donuts and I love like pear donuts. So I was so excited. Started chomping away and the seagull just went, whoop.
They're levil things.
They are.
Horrible, horrible little things.
They're aggressive.
I'm going to have another sip of this horrible coffee.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't know. I really hate it. Like to a high level. I don't know why.
It's drinkable though. As long as it's drinkable.
It's the caffeine. How's your day going?
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah, good, yeah. Been up since 4, standard.
What is that like? Because is that Monday to Friday?
Monday to Friday.
Because, hold on, let's preface this, just preface it, just in case.
What?
Preface it. We're going to preface it. Yeah.
I have no idea what that means.
Okay. It basically means I'm just going to give people some information about you just to catch them.
Go for it.
Okay. You are Hot Breakfast. You're Hot Breakfast presenter down in Brighton. Is it East Sussex or Sussex? Or?
Sussex and Surrey.
Sussex and Surrey.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to get up super early. So let's talk about that now.
So we're on air at 6, Monday to Friday every morning. So we have to be there at 5. So naturally I get up at 4. I'd like to say that the longer you do it, the more you get used to it. But I'll be honest, you really don't.
Really?
I mean, no matter how much sleep you have, if I know that I've got a solid 8 hours that night, it's like your brain is still going, no, it's 4 o'clock, Nicola, what are you doing?
Yeah, right.
It's 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
That's mental. I have the kind of the opposite, whereas if I don't go to bed at like 10, even if I have 8 hours, I'll just wake up tired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, yeah, so instead of, it's just the other way around. Do you have that at all?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I was never a morning person. Still, I'm not a morning person. I probably never will
Horrible
be.
job decision.
Yeah.
In that case.
I know.
Hi, I'm on breakfast and I'm grumpy.
But on the weekends, I'll get up at like 10:30.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. I'll just sleep. I just love sleep. When I was younger, I could be getting up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Love
Really?
It. Yeah. Very much a night owl.
I've never done that. I've always been like a wake up early kind of person.
Oh no. See, that's my other half is like that.
Really?
He gets up with me at 4 because he's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, see, he gets up with me at 4. He's a carpet fitter. So he gets up and he works up in Surrey.
Yeah.
So then he gets up and he's one of those guys that's at the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yuck.
That's what he's like.
That's crazy. Up at 4.
It makes my get up at 4 a lot easier knowing that he's doing it with me though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy if someone's like sleeping right next to you and your alarm goes off, just like, nah. But if someone's getting up, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, see, and it's fine.
Alternatively, they get up and then you've got the whole bed and then it makes it even harder because it's just spreading out, just chilling, warm.
Do a full-blown starfish.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, love it.
It's the best way to sleep. A nice late morning full-blown starfish. That's the perfect Saturday morning, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah?
So nice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I completely agree. That's mad though. Do you just like the build up? Because there's like a theory called like sleep debt, which I don't really understand it to an extent, but they talk about like, I don't think it's true, first of all. But they talk about like if you don't get enough sleep, your body just like it starts to like stack up, and then you're in debt.
Yeah, you end up going on complete shutdown.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that is a thing.
Really?
Definitely.
You ever notice that?
Yes.
Really? Because it's unrealistic to get 8 hours sleep every night.
It's not. Well, yeah. I mean,
it's not doable.
It's not possible, and especially when you're working within media and stuff. If you get invited to events and things like that during the week, where you're expected to, I don't know, turn up to a theatre show at 7, 8 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, brilliant, I've just arrived at 8 o'clock in the evening. This is normally when I go to bed.
That's it.
That's fine. So you stay out until 11, 12 o'clock at night. Then you know you got to get up again at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's those nights where it just completely destroys you. But the thing is, as much as I moan about it, I love my job.
Yeah.
I love my job. I'm
That's
very,
really
very
good.
lucky to be where I am. But it does, if we could just move it a couple of hours later.
Yeah, right.
If the work day, instead of 9 to 5, was like 11 till 7, then we could get up a couple of hours later to entertain the drive into work. Perfect.
That would be a better show.
Yeah.
Because it's not even just you've got to wake up at 4. You've got to wake up and then you've got to be on to be entertaining.
Yeah.
Like there's no like middle ground where you can just like be a grumpy and not do anything in the morning.
That's where the coffee comes in.
Right, that's it. How much coffee do you drink a day? Come on,
mate.
let's spill the beans.
Oh, mate, I can't even begin to imagine how much. I haven't actually logistically thought about how much I have every morning.
Yeah.
So we get in at 5.
Oh no.
That's when I have my first one.
I'm scared.
And then, so between 5 and 5:30, we sit on the computers, we go through Twitter and the papers and stuff and kind of see anything that's coming overnight. So if there's any news that's coming overnight, they want to hear it from you first.
Yeah,
basically.
Sure.
You want to be the one to break the news to everyone. So you need to do all the prep in the morning. And then about 5:30, we kind of discuss with each other what we found. And that's where I'll probably have coffee number 2.
That's half an hour split.
I then make another load of coffees during the ad breaks at about 6:20.
So we're on 3.
We're on 3.
It's 20 past 6.
It's 20 past 6. We're on 3. Bearing in mind, this is 2 scoops of coffee.
Oh, nice.
And I try to have sweetener because I'm trying to cut back on sugar. Because I'm starting to think of my heart.
Yeah, that gets tricky when you're having that much coffee. You have it with sugar.
Impossible.
Yeah.
And then our producer will probably make another set, maybe about 7.
Oh my gosh.
And then maybe around 8 o'clock. Yeah, I'll have another one then. And then we'll come to 9 o'clock and I'll try to tell myself that, okay, it's time to just have a big glass of water.
Yeah, right.
But then I'll probably normally have another coffee. But that's where I stop. My last one is the 9 o'clock coffee, and then I'm done for the day, unless I'm here later on in the afternoon and need a coffee to keep me going.
Well, yeah,
that's what I'm doing right
now. I
apologise.
I've put you over your limit. You've never had this much caffeine. Your body's just going to freak out.
It's fine. I think my heart's used to it now.
Well,
it can't cope without it.
That's Are you addicted at this point? It's kind of hard to tell if you're doing it every day anyway.
Yeah, see, I was doing this. I go to a gym called F45, which is just down the road. And there was this whole 8-week healthy eating challenge thing that I was doing. Yeah. So I wanted to lose a bit of weight. And so I was following this food program. Yeah. And for the first 2 weeks, you weren't allowed any caffeine in your body at all. So I was turning up to work and I can't even, you probably have to speak to the guys I do the show with to see how grumpy I was.
Really?
Those 2 weeks, but I really, really struggled.
Yeah.
But then I felt amazing. Yeah. Because I was drinking so much water.
Yes.
I wasn't having any caffeine in my body. I wasn't having any sugar and I felt incredible.
Really?
And then for some reason I've just kind of fallen back into the...
It's like a mental thing, isn't it? Yeah. Because even if you're feeling better about it, you're in your head it's still like, yeah, but that's going to make me feel more awake.
Yeah.
And then I think to a point it doesn't. Sometimes I get this thing where if I have enough coffee, I just get more tired. It gets over the threshold.
They say that though, don't they? Some people have coffee before they go to bed.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are just like the weirdos in the universe.
And because it just makes them tired. Maybe they just react to coffee like that. That's crazy.
I like a nice hot chocolate before I go
Really?
to bed. Yeah.
I've never really liked hot chocolate that much.
Oh, you shut your face. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Even if it's Galaxy hot chocolate?
No, I don't.
Get out of the room. No. Get out. We're done. No longer friends.
It's been 10 minutes. No, it's already been finished.
Hey.
No, I don't know. I got into herbal teas a while ago.
Herbal teas are nice.
Yeah, it's like
Green
a nice
nice.
wind down thing. Because I felt like there was health benefits. I don't know how much that's true or whether it's just marketing. But it was quite relaxing.
It's mostly marketing stuff.
Yeah, that's what I figured that much.
It's just nice having a hot drink with a flavour in it, really.
It is, definitely. Especially before bed. It does set you up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Coffee seems like a bad idea. What about decaf? People drink decaf. I don't really get that.
Yeah, see, I don't drink coffee because I like the taste of coffee. I drink coffee because I feel like I need it.
Yeah. I really like the taste of it, except for this one, which tastes like shit. But also,
it's a terrible coffee. Let's be honest.
It is. I feel bad because I think they get donated it or something, but
maybe that's why they get it for free. That's why it's terrible coffee.
They just pick it up from. It's not good. I'm not a fan of it, but it's fine because we didn't pay for it. So
yeah, exactly.
I guess we can't complain that much.
Can't mind if it's free.
So let's delve into some stuff, shall we? I read that you went to drama school.
I did.
Yeah?
Yes.
And so that kind of...
have you done your research on me?
Of course I've...
Oh, God.
Nicola, I've done my research.
Right, okay. Yes.
So you went to drama school and that was... So you must have thought that you wanted to do something along these lines.
That was... The original plan was to be an actress. Was the original plan.
Gotcha.
So I went to drama school. It was ever since I was a kid. I went to theatre school and stuff when I was little.
Just really entertaining.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And always loved being on stage
really?
And just doing bits and bobs and performing in front of my family. As a kid, I used to put on little shows and that, and used to do the school talent show and things. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So it was always just kind of, when I was at school, I didn't focus on any of my lessons apart from if it was drama and PE.
Really?
That was it.
Yeah.
Because I just kind of knew. It was like, well, I don't need to focus on maths because there is no way that I'm going to need to do anything with numbers because I'm probably just going to stand up on stage and do something.
Yeah.
So that was...
So you always knew it.
Yeah.
That's impressive that you ended up there.
Yeah, but, well, I mean...
I suppose it comes down to that drive as well.
Yeah, I mean, you get to a point where you go, right, this is what I want to do and this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
The likelihood of me getting there is ridiculously small. And you go, I probably need a backup plan. Yeah. Didn't have a backup plan.
It's not as fun.
No,
it's not as fun to have a backup plan.
I still don't have a backup plan. If this all goes wrong, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Do you not think at this point you're probably fine?
Oh, I don't know. You're never finding a job, are you? You're never finding a job.
I think I'm overly optimistic.
That's a good thing.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Because I'm like you, like I don't have a backup plan.
No.
Like I've always been like overly optimistic about everything I do. And like, it's going to work. Obviously it's going to work.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's no evidence to like back up that confidence.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just going to be a presenter for the rest of my life. It's just easy. It's fine. I'll just keep going.
I don't know why people say it so hard. It's fine. I can do it. I'm the exception.
Yeah, sorry, Mum. I'm not going to work in boots. All right, blimey.
Obviously not. I didn't do statistics at maths, so I don't know that it's a bad idea. I don't know. Yeah,
so I went to drama school. I went to a place called the Poor School, which is closed down now.
Really?
Which is a shame.
Didn't have enough funding.
It seemed like the director wanted to move on to something different, which I think he's now directing plays and stuff around the country.
Fair enough.
I went there for 2 years. That's where I met my husband, actually.
Oh, that's lovely. So is it just a drama school?
Yeah.
So he was doing drama school as well?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he's an actor as well.
Oh, really?
That was probably the best thing that came out of drama school, really, was meeting him. And then from there, I moved down to Surrey to go and live with him. Because I grew up in North London. I grew up in Edmonton, North London.
Right.
So I moved down to Epsom to go and live with him. And from there, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I've finished drama school. Yeah. Oh, God.
that initial I'm out of school panic.
Oh, God. Started, applying and going for auditions and things like that. And you go, I kind of need to earn some money.
Oh, that's stressful.
How am I supposed to pay the rent?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. So I got a job at Chessington World of Adventures.
Whoa.
Doing entertainments.
Really? Like the show things?
Oh, mate. I was doing the puppet shows.
Was that when it was like for the Beano?
Yes, I was there for the last year of Beano.
Yeah,
which is 2009.
Gotcha.
So I was there for the last year of Beano Land. I used to dress up as Dennis the Menace.
That's amazing.
I was Minnie the Minx.
Really?
I was never Nasher because I was too tall for Nasher.
Oh, good.
But we were there for the last day of Beano Land. There was the biggest custard pie fight. We broke the world record that day, actually. It was amazing.
There's a world record for a custard pie fight?
Yeah, smashed it, mate. Smashed it.
Putting that one on the LinkedIn.
It's on the CV. Yeah. Did that, hosted their puppet shows and learned how to puppeteer.
That's amazing.
I dressed up as a dragon.
I've always wanted to dress up as a dragon.
It was good. It was good fun being a dragon. Sweaty.
Yeah, I could believe it.
Very
Peak
sweaty.
of summer.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So that doesn't sound that much fun.
Oh, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
It was points where because the thing is you have to be a certain height to be certain characters.
Right. That makes sense to me. I get that.
So I'm 5'6.5". So I was always Spike, who was the taller dragon, the green dragon.
Sure.
And then so there was Spike and Cinders, who were the dragon puppets in the puppet show in Land of the Dragons at Chessington. So I was always Spike, and then there was Cinders, who was the smaller one. But because I was with Spike, meant that I shared the costume with a lot of boys because I'm quite tall for a girl.
Sure.
And most of the boys sweated a lot in that costume.
This is sounding less pleasant to me now.
Yeah, so it would come to a time of day where you're like, right, I'll go out dressed up in Spike, and you would put the hands on, and you can just feel how sweaty and disgusting it was, and you'd put the whole costume, and it stunk so bad. It was so bad. You got a headband on to try and keep the sweat out of your eyes. There's no point in wearing makeup, because if you've got makeup on your eyes, you can't see anything because you've sweat the whole mascara off all over your eyes.
Immediately as well.
Yeah. But the weird thing is even though no one could see your face, you're stood there in a giant dragon costume and people are coming up for pictures, you still smile for the pictures.
Really? You're just grinning in your suit.
Yeah, so you've got this little kid next to you that can't see you. She doesn't know it's me.
Yeah.
All she can see is Spike, this massive, big, fat, furry dragon. And I'm still smiling in the picture.
That's really funny. Just
Loved
like some weird psychological thing.
One of the best jobs I've ever had.
That does sound a lot of fun, actually.
It was brilliant.
So what else was it other than the dragon suits or that? The puppet shows?
There was the puppet shows.
Because was the dragon suits the worst part?
Yes, that was the sweatiest, probably the hardest part.
That does sound pretty gross.
Then we had Segway characters. You know what a Segway is?
Yeah, one of those like board things with two wheels.
Like two-wheeled things.
Yeah.
So
like
we had
scooter.
a day where we would have, so you sort of run on a rota. Okay, today you're doing puppet shows. Today you're doing, I don't know, Beano Land or whatever.
Yeah.
So you had a day where you were doing Segway characters. So for the day, you and someone else would be dressed up in some sort of stupid outfit and you'd go around the park and you so people queuing up for, I don't know, 90 minutes to go on a ride, you've got to go and put a smile on their face because they're annoyed because it's hot and they're queuing for an hour and a half, and you can't stop that from happening because it's so busy. It's peak summer, so you've just got to go and, I don't know, hey, I'm going to tell you some riddles. Oh,
it's like a weird character in a film just razzing up on a Segway giving riddles.
Yeah, it was weird doing entertainments because sometimes you felt like you were kind of there to save the day, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Especially like the way you put it, like waiting 90 minutes to just queue up. And
I mean, there was one day, I think it was in my first year, 2009, so I did 2 years there. There was a huge power cut. Power cut. The whole entire park went down. Really? So we're sat there in our green room, and it was sort of in between shows, and we're just sat there chilling, and then we had the radio on, and then all of a sudden you heard everything go, boo. And everyone stood up and went, that's not good.
Right.
Looked outside and the whole park had stopped. The rides had stopped. People sat on them. Everything had stopped. All the music, everything. The whole entire park had gone down. So we went, oh God, we better go and get Dennis the Menace. So just ran downstairs, quickly got into Dennis and just went out and tried to just put a smile on people's faces because it was just chaos.
Horrific.
It was chaos.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Like, you got kids that are super like bored and impatient, and parents who are just angry.
Yeah.
Just like, we paid all this money and nothing's happening.
Yeah. And you're so like, it's not my fault.
Yeah,
I'm just going to try. I'll tell you, it's Dennis's fault. Dennis. Dennis.
Yeah, you can just pass it off to the dude in the costume.
I'm stood there as Dennis going, what?
I didn't do it. Oh dear. What a menace.
Great job though. Love that job.
How do you get into that? Was it an audition process?
It was an audition.
Really?
Yeah. That was, I mean, the audition was weird.
Well, it's a weird job, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, you applied online, and then I think because I had been to drama school, you know, they invite you in for an audition. Right. There's only about 10 people that are going to get the job, but about 100 odd people audition for the job. And you turn up and you just had to do fun, stupid things. So it was, okay, here's a stupid outfit, go do something stupid with this character. So you just kind of had to go up and just do something completely bananas.
That's crazy.
So you just knew from the auditions, you knew exactly who, you could point out who was going to be working there.
Yeah, that's it, who was willing to do that stuff.
I've made probably some of the best friends ever. I've met my best friend now, Kaylee. Yeah. I met her at Chessington because it was just one of those, we're on the same wavelength, you're just as bananas as I am, and I love you, and that's it.
Just like dancing around in costumes all day.
Friends for life. She's like my sister now.
That's what I was talking about, icebreakers earlier. That's probably the best icebreaker, right? Like, here you are in a costume, be stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally.
Like, there's just no walls there to get past. It's as open as you can be.
Do something funny.
Like,
okay. Stupid dance.
Oh, that's actually, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
It didn't come up in my research. I saw something about it, but I couldn't work out what it was.
What else came up in your research?
Oh, there was one thing. Business mouse. I didn't know what that was.
Ah, right. Business mouse.
Because I Googled it and I saw this little like cartoon thing. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was just a voiceover.
Because I was trying to find like a credit, but I couldn't find one with you. But I saw that on... I think your agents. And I watched it and I was like, what is this?
Yeah, that was...
That's really like overly aggressive and lurid, like little cartoon.
That was just a little voiceover job. That was... I got a message going, do you fancy being a little mouse? I was like, yeah, sure.
Obviously.
And it was for some business law thing. Right. They were doing a little animation to kind of advertise and put on their website. And they said, be a voice of a mouse. So I did. And it was a little tiny, I'm a little business mouse. Which is very similar to another character that I voiced over at Chessington as well, actually. Yeah,
really?
Voiceover stuff's quite fun, though.
What did you voice over in Chessington, then?
I'm on one of the rides, actually.
Whoa! Still?
Well, I've got, I think it is. So I did two things at Chessington, which was actually quite a bonus that I worked there, but I got the job separately as well. Yeah. So the first one was, there was a video, I don't think it's there anymore. There was a video down in the Trail of the Kings, which is where the gorillas and the lions and the tigers are. And I had to play the role of an adventurer who was kind of looking out for gorillas. And
this is on video, yeah?
And it was played on a video and it was played on a loop all day, every day at Chessington. It was there for about 6 years, I think it was.
That's so cool, though.
And it got to the point where the gorillas hated my voice so much that they were bashing where the TV screen was.
Oh, no.
So for a while they had to switch me off. And from where I would go down there and visit occasionally, pretty sure they would probably recognise my voice.
Oh, I bet they did.
They're just like, it's you.
You don't want gorillas mad with you.
That girl I hear every day, you're so annoying.
That's crazy. Gorillas are smart.
I know.
I just like got sick of hearing it.
Yeah,
all the
they
time.
all hate me. They all hate me.
Wow.
So there was that, and then there's a ride there called Zoofari, which is like
It's a sick name.
it's like a safari.
Yeah.
So you jump on like this big truck. It's actually a really brilliant ride.
Really?
You jump on like this big truck, and it kind of goes, and you see the rhinos and the giraffes and stuff. And there's this character called Gozi, who is like a lemur. So there's a South African guy who kind of does the voiceover and let me explain the animals to you. And there's this little lemur called Gozi who you see the animation at the start, who's kind of like, oh, I don't understand what that animal is. And that's me.
The stupid lemur.
Yeah. There's a joke in there about poo and things like that.
Of course. Kids love poo jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
And who can blame them? They are very funny.
But poo will always be funny.
It's never not funny. It's one of those things. You feel bad by writing it, but then you're like, well, that was quite worth it. So presenting's like your main thing, but then I didn't know you did like voiceovers as well. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing the voiceover stuff.
Really?
It's fun, actually.
Did you ever do any acting now? Actually,
No.
You're in a pantomime.
I am.
At the end of this year.
Yeah.
I saw that. Have you started that?
That'll be my first bit of. You can't really call pantomime acting, though, can you?
Right.
It'll be my first bit of acting. My
Being
professional
yourself,
acting
but
job.
louder.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So, because I live in Horsham, it's my local theatre.
Really?
At the Capitol in Horsham. And I'm so excited because I've seen all of their pantos in previous years.
Yeah.
And they are brilliant.
Really?
They are
They're
such
doing well.
good shows. So it's one of those where this year I knew that I was free this Christmas to do panto.
Yeah.
Because previous years, like I had surgery on my knee or we were going
Right.
away for Christmas. So this year I emailed Nick, who's the guy who runs it, and I went, right, I'm free this year. What do you want to do? And he went, come and meet me for a drink. I went, okay. And then literally turned up and met him and we discussed it. And then he went, do you want to be our fairy? I was like, yes.
Oh,
so
that's crazy.
we've had the pictures and stuff done.
Really?
But we're just now in the process of waiting for the script because they write the script fresh every year.
Yeah.
And then rehearsals start on the 1st of December. Show goes up
that's-
on the 14th. And
Whoa!
so get your tickets now.
That is yeah, I'll come. That's not a lot of time to start rehearsal, right?
That's pretty
14
standard though for
Is it
panto.
really?
Yeah.
I think I'd like to do a panto, but that sounds stressful.
Yeah, but I've done panto before.
You have?
I did The Wizard of Oz
Really?
at the
It's a big
Seacombe
one.
Theatre in Sutton, which is up in Surrey.
Right.
And that was only like a week's run. 10-day run. It was quite a short one,
Just
quite
like
a small
over
panto.
Christmas.
But I was the Wicked Witch of the West.
Oh, that's a good character.
Oh, mate, it was brilliant.
You have a lot of fun with that?
Oh, absolutely loved it. And it's so much fun being booed.
Really?
Brilliant fun
I
being
think
booed.
that would hurt me.
The one issue
my
that I
feelings.
had with that show was that I was green for the whole of Christmas.
Oh, does it not come off that well?
Oh my, it was like, I was so green.
Really?
I was so green.
Like little Shrek.
Oh my goodness. So at the start of The Wizard of Oz,
Yeah.
I had to be Miss Gulch, who's just like the horrible aunt. And then
Right.
halfway through the show, that's when I'd put my makeup on for when she turns up in Oz.
Yeah.
So then the days where you're doing 2 or 3 shows a day, I'm barefaced, now I put the green on, take it off, barefaced, put the green on, and it got to a point where I was running out of time to do my proper skin routine, if you will.
Oh.
And the green just kind of stayed in my pores. And we went out for a night out, like a panto night out, with all the cast. And I remember turning up at the bar to go and meet everyone, and the bouncer on the door went, your face is green. I was like, yes.
It's a very rude observation. How dare you?
Yes, my face is green. Yes, thank you. He's like, why your face green? I was
a
like,
good- it is a good question.
it's I'm doing pantomime,
Yeah.
and that's So I had to have a proper, full-blown, deep facial when that show was
Definitely.
over.
I
She
think-
was squeezing it out of my pores.
I think what you should have done is you should double down. Like as soon as that face started staying green, just costume the whole time. Just you are the Wicked Witch of the
There
West.
was no saving my skin, no saving it. I remember being sat there for Christmas dinner, and my family like laughing at my face because I was like, guys, I'm green. Help me.
Oh, that's crazy. But How long did it take you to get rid of it? Did you that deep scrub? Did that do it in the end? Or was it literally like weeks?
Do you know what? I mean, my birthday's in the middle of January. I might even have been green for my birthday.
Really?
There was essence of green still there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my skin. I was a mess. My skin was a mess.
Did it like affect it? Because obviously that's a lot of like chemicals and stuff.
Oh yeah, like it was like boils I had on my chin and stuff from where I was steaming my face, putting cream on it, and just trying everything.
There's a lot of commitment to the role.
But the problem is because I was also in the middle of still doing the show, I'm taking everything off my skin and steaming it and then having to put green back on top of it.
Yeah, that's it.
So you're just layering it up.
Yeah. And once you've steamed it, I imagine the pores are more open as well.
Yes.
So it's just getting like proper deep inside.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like green running through my veins by the end of the show.
I wonder if that had an effect. I wonder if that literally did like go into the blood and it just affected you.
Yeah, it made me proper evil.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I went out and murdered a few people that night and stuff.
That's an incriminating thing to say on the podcast. You want me to scratch that off the record?
You're right.
Okay, cool. Do you know if the fairy's got like any makeup thing like that you have to do?
She's fine. She's pretty clean faced.
Okay.
Got a bit of sparkle, bit of glitter going on.
But that's bad because that gets everywhere.
That's true.
Glitter just doesn't go.
But I'd rather have glitter than green.
Definitely.
And one thing I do have, which I'm so pleased with, because I am definitely not a high heel person. And I remember talking to Nick, who writes the script, and he went, I don't see you as the kind of girl that would wear high heels. I was like, oh, you know me so well. I don't do high heels. So I have glittery, sparkly Doc Martens.
Oh, I think my mum has those.
Yes. They're wicked, man.
Yeah, I like a bit of glitter. Like it does get everywhere, but sometimes you got to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same with like confetti. Like there's people who put confetti in birthday cards.
Oh, I don't like those people.
Yeah, they're right jerks, aren't they?
Yeah, who does that?
It's malicious.
Yeah.
It's like a proper attack on your household.
It's like those things that you can get. I saw it advertised on Facebook, the confetti bomb.
It's a very passive aggressive move.
It really is. Happy birthday.
yeah. You'll be loving this for absolute months.
Yeah, happy birthday, but I secretly hate you.
Yeah, what dick move, man. So you've done like a lot of presenting. I see here. Oh, you did like red carpet presenting. Mm-hmm. Was that like one of the first like jobs after Chessington? Was that?
Yeah, that was.
Is that kind of like your breakthrough job? Would you say?
Yeah, that was for Planet Hollywood restaurants.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they have those in England?
Yeah, there's about 3 or 4 in London.
Really?
The one in Piccadilly Circus, that was the one that I was hired by.
I didn't know that.
And so I would go and do the red carpet interviews, and then they would be played in the restaurants.
That's really cool.
Go on their YouTube channel, be played in the restaurants.
That's really dope. Who's the biggest person you interviewed?
Oh God,
Do you remember?
That was when my first red carpet gig was my first presenting gig. My first red carpet gig was the Madonna film WE, the one that she directed.
Sure.
And it was with like Andrea Riseborough and I can't think of the other guy's name. But it was one of those where I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be standing on a red carpet and Madonna's going to be there.
Yeah.
Who is like a hero of mine. I'm going to have to keep cool here. Oh my God. You go walking down the red carpet, and you think, this is a really surreal moment, but you just seem like just a normal person.
Yeah, right.
I didn't feel starstruck. It was just a really surreal, okay, I'm just in the middle of having a chat with Madonna here. This is
pretty badass.
This is kind of weird, but I kind of like it at the same time.
Yeah. It's a great dinner story, that, isn't it?
Yeah, that was cool. I did a good few jobs with them. That was good fun, actually, doing the red carpet stuff.
Yeah, it sounds really like interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever been starstruck? Because I imagine you meet people quite a lot in your industry.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there might be varying levels of like stardom.
I don't think I ever have been. I know the people that I would be should I meet them.
Go ahead.
I know that because they are the loves of my life. If I ever came face to face with the Backstreet Boys, I would cry.
Right.
Same with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I think.
Sure.
I think I would do my best to keep my cool. But I think with him, especially with him, there was one moment actually. We had Dawn French on the show,
Ooh.
who has been a hero of mine all of my life. Like, she is like the one woman that I looked up to. I used to love French and Saunders, love the Vicar of Dibley.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with her. I mean, there was like a stupid stand-up show I did as a kid when I was like 11. And there's even video footage of, who's your hero? I was like, Dawn French. I love Dawn French so much. And there was a moment where she wasn't actually in the studio with us. We had her, she was in another studio, but it was kind of a phone connection. And as soon as I heard her speak, my heart was racing. Because all I was thinking is, oh my God, I'm just about to talk to one of my heroes.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. And then there was a moment where she spoke to me directly and she said my name.
Oh,
and my inner 11-year-old wanted to cry. And I was just sat there going, oh my God. And I remember Tom, who I do the show with, was looking at me as if to go, are you all right? And I was like, I can't handle this moment. This is quite unbelievable. She's not even in the same room as me. She's not looking at me, but she's talking to me.
Yeah.
She said my name.
That's really cool.
And it was one of those, oh, wow, that's pretty cool, man.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a hero of yours or someone that you really look up to, it doesn't matter who it is. If that's that moment, that person that means that much to you, then it's,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're right. It's all relative.
Yeah.
So how did you get into radio per se then? Because you've done like a lot of like presenting stuff, but I feel like radio's a bit different than that because it's not on camera. It's
yeah,
kind of
that
like
was
a different venue.
Completely different journey, really. So weirdly enough, my husband was doing a carpet fitting job just for a random guy, and they were just having a chat, and this bloke was like, oh yeah, I do a bit of hospital radio.
Yeah.
You should come down and have a look. And my husband went, well, it's not really my thing, but my wife might be interested in it. So said to me, oh, go down and have a little look. So I did. I went down to Radio St Helier, which was in Sutton. I went down and had a little look around, had an interview with them, and told them that, it would be great if I can come and learn the ropes and do a show and stuff. And I remember being at my mother-in-law's house. We just had a bit of dinner, and my phone rang, and they offered me a show on hospital radio. And at that precise moment, I was so excited.
Yeah.
Like, I think back to it now and you think, oh, it's just hospital radio. But at the time,
it's really cool.
It was so cool.
Yeah,
I was like,
definitely.
oh my God, I'm going to do a show on the radio. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you ever get the opportunity to do it, do it.
Yeah.
It's really good fun. So I did the show on Saturday mornings with a guy called Simon, and we used to go around the wards before your show, like an hour before your show, and you'd get requests from the patients.
Oh, that's so nice. Because I never really understood how hospital radio worked, but it's literally in a hospital.
It is just the hospital.
Just for like entertainment for patients and stuff.
The amount of listeners you probably got about 4 people listening to you. That's it. But the bonus is, especially if you want to work in radio, is you learn everything there.
Yes, definitely.
You learn how the desk works, how your faders work, how the music plays, and all that sort of stuff.
It's up on a show reel as well.
Yeah, exactly. You learn your own style of presenting and how to put a radio show together and all that sort of stuff. So it was definitely a huge learning curve for me. And then there was a moment where I went, okay, well, I quite like this radio thing. This is quite fun, actually.
Yeah.
So I got in touch with my local radio station, which was Radio Jackie.
Right, Radio
based
Jackie.
in southwest London.
Yeah.
And I got in contact and I said, do you want a travel presenter? Because I knew I wasn't good enough to do a show yet.
So you kind of went straight in with the niche.
Yeah, so I went, I can do your traffic
smart,
news.
Actually. That's really smart.
Yeah, so I turned up and it was all working for free.
Yeah,
and then they taught me how to do the travel news. So then I was put on Drive Time with Mick Brown.
It's big slot.
Oh, mate, big slot. So I do with Mick Brown, which if you're old school radio, you will know who Mick Brown is. Pat and Mick used to do the Capital Breakfast Show in London.
Really? All right, big deal, big deal.
Yeah, so it was definitely a moment of, oh, this is pretty cool. I'm on a show with Mick Brown. Wow. And I did his travel news for probably about 9 months or so.
Yeah.
And while I was there, I would either turn up early or I'd stay really late, and I would teach myself how to use their system.
Really?
On how to use their faders.
Yeah.
And I would record myself doing links, like just off air.
That's really cool
by
that
myself.
you did that.
And
that really shows a lot of initiative and like
it was the only
wanting
way
to grind.
Yeah, it was the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Because the only way to get to where you have to go is to poke people.
Definitely.
So that was literally what I did at Radio Jackie.
That's great.
The guy who ran the place was a guy called Dave. And every day I would say, Dave, I'm just going to hang around in the spare studio and I'm going to do some links. Do you want to come listen? And he'll go, yes. And I'll go, Dave, just going to hang around, just going to do some links. If you want to come listen, come listen to my stuff. Dave, come listen. He'll go, oh, yes. And then it got to a point where the girl that was doing breakfast was on holiday for a week.
Yeah.
So I went, Dave.
Oh,
can I
so
go?
you put yourself
can
in
I
for
go?
that?
Yeah, can I go and cover? Can I do it? And he went, yes, fine, yes. So I got paid £20.
Whoa, you got paid for that?
£20.
Oh, big money.
Yeah, and it was very exciting. And I got to cover the breakfast show, and I was like, it's amazing. I was working with a guy called Neil Long, who has got bags of personality. What a flipping legend that guy is. He's still on air there now.
Yeah, sure.
Neil and Nikki do the breakfast show in the morning. So it was Nikki that I was covering for. And I absolutely loved it. And after that, so you'd come off air at 10, and I'll go, Dave, I'm just going to go in the special studio now we've come off air, and I'm just going to do some more links, just so you know.
So you just like really honed that ability.
Yeah.
Just from like proper practice. And
I literally made the place my second home.
That's so great.
Just there all the time and staying late. And
that's actually quite inspiring, I think.
Speaking to everybody. Yeah. The thing is everybody there was so supportive with everything that you want to do. There's Lucy Mayer, who sort of runs news and the travel and stuff. And there's a guy called Steve Mowbray as well, who does a show in the afternoons. He's the most supportive guy, and he was very much there going, keep poking him. Keep poking him. You'll get on air, just keep poking him. And I'll go, okay. So I'll hang around even more, and I'll do some more links. And I'll go, Dave, got some more links. And he'll go, well, I can't do today, but I'll listen tomorrow. I'll go, okay, it's fine, I'll hang around tomorrow. And then eventually he went, right, I'll give you a show on Saturday evenings.
Nice. Another big slot.
So 9 to 11 Saturday nights was the Saturday night, the party with me.
Was that what it was called, the party?
The party, yeah.
Very creative.
And yes, it was just playing non-stop party music, people getting in touch, texting in, phoning in.
That's great. That's a real, that's a good slot, I think.
Yeah, doing my own show, and it was just...
That must have been so exciting.
Amazing.
And it is all that hard work. Must have been so satisfying as well to finally have that to do.
And then the more I was doing that, I was then doing that every week. To then me going, is there anything I can cover? And he'll go, right, well, there's an overnight shift if you want to do midnight till 6 in the morning. And I'll go, I'll do it.
Really? That's a long old shift.
Well, I did... one of the worst ones I did was
kind of what you're doing now.
Midnight till 6 in the morning from Christmas night into Boxing Day.
Whoa!
That I was like, I'll do it.
Really?
It was just to get airtime.
Just that much of a grafter.
Yeah, just to be on air.
Really committed.
I'll do it. And I think when you show that that's it, this is what I want to do, and I'll do it. I'll do the work, and I'll put the effort in. That then it got to a point where he was phoning me and saying, right, Neil couldn't turn up this morning on, I don't know, Sunday morning breakfast. He rang me last minute and went, Neil can't get in today because he's not well. Can you do it?
Yeah.
So then I would turn up, and I was doing Sunday morning breakfast show, and I'm sat there going, this is brilliant. And then there was one morning where he couldn't turn up. He wasn't there for the actual midweek breakfast show. So Dave phoned me up and said, Nicola, do you want to anchor the breakfast show with Nikki? So Nikki was doing her normal job, and I was the anchor of the show. And I was like, this is incredible. And then from there, it was just, right, now I'm going to put a demo of my best bits together. Yeah. And then I heard about the job that was going on Heart Breakfast.
Right. So how did you hear about that? Just through like passing?
That was through my agent at the time. Apparently they'd been looking for someone for quite a while.
Really?
So I got in there quite last minute.
Yeah.
And I went down and did a demo. I was like, oh, wow, look at these studios. They're so nice.
Yeah.
Look at this.
That big money.
Yeah. And at the time, I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to drive down to Brighton every day if I get this job. So I was living in Surrey at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was it was 42 miles to be exact. And I was like, I'll do it. Screw it. Fine. So I was getting up. So, I did 3 or 4 demos before they offered me the job.
Yeah. So was that just you on your own, or was that you with the other?
With Tom and Jack.
Yeah, sure.
So you've got to go in and make sure that you can get along with everyone and that you fit in.
Yeah, that's it.
Well enough. I mean, they said to me when I started that they didn't want someone just to sit in the background, because the thing is Tom and Jack are such big personalities.
Yeah, that's it.
And on air, they are the best of friends, and even off air, they are as well. So they needed someone to come in and go, I'm also here as well.
Yeah, definitely.
This is 3 of us, and we're all going to be in this together, rather than just having Tom and Jack best friends and then a voice in the background.
Yeah, sure.
So I kind of think I managed that.
Well, I mean, you must have.
It's difficult.
You're still there.
But yeah, I've been there 5 years
So
now.
yeah, you must have.
Yeah, for the
cracked
first 2.5 years, I was getting up at 3:30, leaving at 4 to be there at 5. And then we moved down to Horsham, so got a little bit closer, so I got an extra half an hour in bed.
That's worth it. That's definitely worth it.
Yeah, but now it's just now. I'm so used to it now.
Yeah.
And I still love it every day. I absolutely love how creative and stupid we can be every morning, and you think this is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
And then I also have the pleasure of covering solo shows should they need it. So I'll cover a Saturday breakfast show, or I'll cover a show over at the Heart Studios in Portsmouth if they need someone.
Yeah.
And just constantly, I'm still prodding.
Yeah, that's it.
Always prodding.
Still just grafting, prodding.
I'm still going, Stuart, my boss, Stuart, is there any other shows I could be doing? Yeah, cheers.
Yeah,
always prodding. Keep prodding.
Yeah, you just don't want to settle, and I really like that.
Yeah.
And it's obviously why you're so successful, because you just keep grinding. I think it's a really good message to be sending.
Oh, you have to constantly put the work in. I think the moment you become too settled in anything,
that's it.
You're not
settled and complacent.
Yeah,
it's good to mix things up as well. And you do the you still do the travel news actually on the show now, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. See,
it's just kind of in my blood.
That's
now.
it. Yeah, travel news. That's crazy, man. That's a good story. I didn't realize it was going to be that complex when I asked you.
Really?
Yeah. Like that's just, I guess that's how the industry works.
Yeah.
You've just really just got to be known, I suppose. How long is the show that you do now? The breakfast one?
How many hours?
Yeah, it was 6 till 11, is it?
6 till 10.
6 till 10.
6 till 10, yeah.
How do you, because this is what I'm curious about, and I suppose this comes into the whole creative process thing. How do you go about planning that? Because that's a lot of content every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have a show that's only 2 hours once a week.
Yeah.
And even just planning the content for that, I'm just I'm really just clutching at straws here with these kind of ideas.
Yeah, it's you don't realize just how much stuff you get through until you see it all on a list. It's the weirdest thing.
I believe it. That is a long time.
Yeah, you think 5 days a week for 4 hours. I mean, essentially, it's 5 days a week for 3 hours, and then we move on to the time tunnel, which is a separate half hour at 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
which is playing music from a certain year, and someone has to guess, etc.
Sure, that's kind of the chill out bit.
So I would say between 6 and 9, that's kind of peak show hours. You've got maybe 6, 7, maybe 8 links an hour to talk about something.
Yeah.
You want it to be on brand.
Yep, that makes sense.
You want it to be modern.
Yep.
You want it to be news that's literally just come out. You want it to be interesting.
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest
and kind of funny
things.
as well, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean the funny thing kind of tends to happen naturally with kind of how we just all kind of bounce off each other.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's easier now to prep because I know exactly what Tom's going to say. I know exactly what Jack's going to say because we've been working together for so long now. But I remember when we first started, we'd have to sit down and properly plan everything. So you'd start planning. So you've got the 6 o'clock hour, 7 o'clock hour, 8 o'clock hour. The 6 o'clock hour is completely different to the 8. Completely different. Because you've got a completely different set of listeners.
It makes sense. But
6 o'clock in the morning, you've got the lorry drivers.
I think it's one of those things that someone who didn't know that much wouldn't really think about.
Yeah.
But it totally makes sense when you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning, you've got the lorry drivers. You've got the people that get up super early because maybe they woke up in London.
Sure.
Or you've got the people that are coming in from an overnight shift. 9 times out of 10, that's an adult listening at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So it means you can push your boundaries a little bit further.
Right.
You can be a little bit naughtier
it's like
if you want to.
Shit.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You can be a little bit naughtier at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
When it comes to 8 o'clock, your kids are in the car.
Run.
They're on the school run.
Yeah.
So you need to keep it family friendly, and you need stuff that's going to make the kids and the parents laugh at the same time. There's stuff that everyone's going to be talking about. So the stuff that's trending on Twitter.
Right.
So you've got...
Is that a big source of it?
Huge.
Twitter?
It is now,
Because Twitter's really big on news, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'd say the last year or so is where I would say Twitter is my first go-to.
That's really interesting.
For news, first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
I go, what's trending on Twitter?
Because I never really use that as an asset, but that makes a lot of sense.
Definitely should. because that's what everyone's reading.
Yeah.
Because if something's trending on Twitter, it's trending because everyone's talking about it. That's what it is.
Exactly. You're going straight to the people rather than through like a mediation.
So you've got now, what's brilliant is you've got Twitter Moments.
Yeah.
Which is the stuff that's just about to start trending, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So my first go-to is Twitter Moments, what's going on?
That's
and
really
it'll go,
smart.
rumours are Idris Elba's going to be James Bond. And you go, brilliant. Let's talk about that this morning.
Yeah.
And then you'll start talking about that. And then all of a sudden, off the back of that, because that started trending on Twitter, Idris Elba's now tweeted saying the name's Idris Elba. And then that's all of a sudden started trending. But they've heard it from you first.
Yeah, that's it. You're jumping on that.
Yeah.
Because usually, for this kind of stuff, and I did another podcast before, and for the radio, I usually, BBC News is where I go to like get that kind of stuff, but it's already broken at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're getting there earlier on with that Twitter.
Yeah. When I first started the job 5 years ago, my first thing I would go to would be the Mirror.
Right.
The paper, the Mirror, or Digital Spy is pretty good.
Sure.
But now, if I look on the Mirror, if I look on Digital Spy, that's news from yesterday or from 2 days ago, or even, do you know what? A few hours ago.
That's it.
That's been and gone.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gone.
Because the internet age we're in, everything's so quick and instant.
Yeah.
You can't be even like an hour late.
Yeah.
You just miss the boat completely.
You're like, oh, something was trending yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, we can't talk about it today because that was yesterday.
Yeah, because it comes in so quickly and then just leaves just as quick.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. And there'll be things like today.
Yeah.
I already knew that today, for whenever you're listening to this, by the way, it is the 13th of August, 2018.
That's fair.
We knew that today they were going to make the Strictly Come Dancing announcements
Sure.
for this year, right? So
and I think I tuned in earlier and I heard that link.
Yeah, so this morning it was very much, right, today is the day they're going to be doing this.
Yeah.
As soon as we hear it, you're going to hear it, so don't worry, we've got you covered.
Yeah, sure.
So as soon as they announced first person this morning, Katie Piper, TV presenter and model, it was literally, right, as soon as it came up on my Twitter feed, right, let's do this now.
Really?
So whatever link we're doing next, scrap it, we're doing this now.
Yeah, sure.
Because they need to know now.
That's it.
So then they've heard it from us, and they haven't heard it from anybody else, they've heard it from us.
Yeah.
Because then they'll instantly think, oh, Katie Piper is on Strictly Come Dancing. Oh, I heard that on Heart Breakfast with Tom, Nicola and Jack.
That's it. And then when they talk to their friends about it, because they want to break the news themselves, they're like, this was my source.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
So it makes Heart the place to go for that kind of all kind of news, all kind of entertainment news.
Yeah.
That's
so
really interesting.
I mean, we come off air at 10.
Yeah.
And then we'll start prepping the following day.
Okay, that early on. Yeah.
So we did the show this morning. We've prepped what we're going to do tomorrow. But I can already tell you now that 80% of the stuff that we've got tomorrow probably won't be in the show tomorrow.
Really?
Because we'll get in the morning.
Yeah.
And other stuff has happened.
Yeah. So what does that look like then? Like today when you prepped, was it just news stuff? Or
but there are some things.
Do you try and make it more evergreen because you know that news is going to be so different by tomorrow?
Yeah, but there are some things that can hold things things that aren't that big a trending topic.
Yeah.
So even if it's something that's happened in your own life that you like to talk about on air, you go, do you know what? That's fine. If something's happened instantly now, we can talk about my thing tomorrow. Yeah, that's fine.
Sure, that makes sense.
It's a lot of moments like that. So, I mean, we've prepped tomorrow's show in the thought of things that have come in today that we didn't do today that we thought, oh, that's fine. That can hold till tomorrow.
Okay. So it kind of stacks up a little bit as
well. But by the time we get in the morning at 5 o'clock, we'll go, oh, well, I mean, we can probably get away with, do you know what? Get rid of that. That's not as good as that bit that's just come in today. Let's do that instead.
Yeah.
And everything is... everything changes constantly.
That's crazy. I suppose it makes sense. You got to keep on top of it.
Yeah.
How does it work? So you said I think you said 8 or 9 links per hour roughly. Is that what you said?
Yeah, about
How does that work in terms of, do you spread that content out? Like how, for example, how many links would you have on this?
So
Strictly, for example.
Strictly will probably just be one.
Just one link.
Just one little talky bit.
So how features, for example, like a big news story.
Okay.
How many links would that split over? Or would even that just be one?
It depends on how big it is.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes we can do... Sorry, that was my chair squeaking. Oh my God. Sometimes we can do something for an hour. Sometimes we can spread something through the show and we'll do, right, we spoke about this at 6:10. Let's do something else on the same bit at 7:10 and do the same thing at 8:10. And then we can kind of put that in a thread throughout the show and you just kind of keep coming back to it every now and again. But 9 times out of 10 now, it's really quick, short, sharp information bits.
Yeah.
Unless someone calls up or someone texts in and goes, oh, I've got a little story on that. And you go, brilliant, let's get you on the show.
Yeah, right.
So you get them on, and then all you need to do, even if, say, we've set something up at 8:05, if they're texting in randomly at 8:20, because they've just had the time to pull over and send a text in, then we might record that call with them, and then at 8:50, just do a little mini reset of what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
this
right.
Is what, you weren't tuning in earlier, we were kind of talking about this, and then we got a text, so we had to give them a ring back. So this is blah, 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 tell us your story. So, it all kind of, one, depends on how big the thing is, and two, depends on listener interaction, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So this is what I want to ask now, because it isn't so much about the creative process as it is just kind of how it all works. I'm really interested in how you built up the rapport between Tom and Jack when you started. And like, if because it's so important. Like you need to have it like immediately.
Yes.
Because that's what people want to listen to. It's more endearing that way. But that's not a very natural way of doing things.
No.
So how did that work? Were you guys all really like, was it almost like acting kind of to an extent? Like to begin with?
Yeah, well, yes and no. I mean, Tom and Jack had already been on the show together for a few years. So with them, as soon as I joined, it was already natural between the two of them.
Yeah, sure.
So I kind of had to...
But that might make it even harder to an extent, right?
It was difficult at first because I knew that they could read each other.
Yes.
And you're thinking, right, they can read each other. They know where they're going with this conversation. And I've got no idea what they're going to say next because I don't know them well enough.
Yeah, right.
So then it's just a case of spending time and trying to understand each person.
Yeah, was there like a real...
Attempting to barge your way in, essentially,
right,
is what I had to do. And then you get to a point where actually we're all just now really good friends.
Yeah.
And like Jack and I go to the gym together, and we'll text and talk to each other, and we've got so much in common now that even when the mics are down,
right,
the amount of laughter going on in that room is insane.
Yeah.
I must say, actually, every morning, even when the mics are down and we're just playing some music and we're just talking between ourselves, we're laughing at something because it's just that you just help each other get through it now.
Yeah.
And we now know each other so well, and inside out and upside down. But it took a while to get to that point.
I can imagine, yeah. And did you think that the show has benefited from that relationship shift?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because whatever's off air, coming on air is brilliant. What you want to hear as a listener is you want to hear three mates have a little chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Themselves.
It's way more fun to listen to than just three people who don't really get on that well.
You hear about some radio shows that, I'm not going to name any, but you hear about some radio shows where everything is very scripted.
Yeah.
And you think, well, I don't know how you've got a relationship there if you're just reading a piece of paper.
Yeah, right.
The best thing to do, what we think the best thing is to do, is to put a little bullet point of, I think I want to talk about this, or I'm going to mention this. And then you all just kind of bounce off each other. And that's what just keeps it natural and simple and more fun and chatty that way.
Definitely.
Rather than just reading a script and looking at each other kind of thing.
I think it's weird how people can even do that and make it sound natural.
Yeah, I mean, that's a talent. If you can do it.
It's a talent, yeah.
Like,
I suppose it should be commended. I just always found that quite weird. Because people, especially people who are just starting, I think tend to gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
I think the word script is misleading as well.
Yeah, see, I had a guy who came and covered the breakfast show while Tom and Jack were off once. And the first couple of shows, it was our first couple of shows together. Yeah. And it was very much a scripted process because he was just trying to find his feet. We were getting to know each other. Yeah. And after I would say 2 days, it got to a point where it starts going down to bullet points.
That's it, yeah.
And then you start building and then it just becomes so easy.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the week, it was so easy just to bounce off each other and have a chat with each other. Like we're having a little chat now.
That's it, yeah.
Like I know that you're probably going to say this next, and then I'm going to say this, and blah, 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 blah. And that was just the easiest way to kind of get into it. But it did start off quite scripted, and you can hear the difference between the Monday and the Friday.
It's really like, well, obviously, the more natural it is, I always think the more endearing something is. Yeah. Because you're getting yourself across more as well. Yeah. Scripts are too rigid, and it's too hard to really get what you mean across to an extent.
Yeah.
So you said sometimes you cover like the solo breakfast shows, or was that on the weekends? I assume solo breakfast.
Yes, yeah, on Saturday mornings, solo breakfast. Yeah.
I want to talk about that because I've kind of done a similar thing in that I started off when I had my first radio show. I was in a duo, and I've recently gone solo with it. So I kind of.
How are you finding it?
Yeah, it's different, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's really different.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about what you think about that, because I haven't spoken about this, I don't think, on live, so I apologise to my ex-partner, Adam.
Hey, Adam, how you doing?
Because there's a real give and take, I think, with it. On the one hand, it's really great being a duo because you've got that, like, you know what other people's going to say next. It's really fun. It's kind of endearing. And then if you kind of like trail off, someone else is there to like bring you back up, and it's kind of more fun that way. But what I found now it's solo is that you've got to be on top of it. You can't let yourself slip because there's no one else to cover you, which is a good thing anyway. But also, I'm finding it's, to an extent, it's more fun because you can trail off into like a different segue, and you don't need to like be directed at someone. So it's like you have to stay really on topic when you're with someone else. Yeah. Unless, I suppose, in your case, maybe because you all know each other so well, it's easier to diverge into whatever you want and they'll just follow. So I'm finding that I can really just go off in a weird tangent, which I think can be quite like funny, and I don't need to worry about bringing it back to anything because there's no one there that I need to like draw into the joke or anything. The
struggle you'd have on a solo show is if I go off on one of my weird tangents, am I the only person that's going to understand what the hell I'm talking about?
That's it, yeah.
Because in my head, this is funny.
Right, that's it.
So does that mean that everyone else is going to find it funny? Because I know that if I'm doing a show with other people and it is funny, everyone else is going to be laughing.
That's right, yeah. You kind of just got to guess.
If there's no one in the room laughing with you, you're questioning yourself all the time.
Yeah.
Was that funny?
Was that because I do that? Yeah. Actually, that really hits home.
Yeah.
I often like do a link and I'm like, that was just silly.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't funny. But then people text, they're like, that was a really good link, and then it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That was funny. But you're right. It's that validation immediately. You just don't have it.
I definitely enjoy it. It takes some getting used to being sat with you and just a microphone, and just knowing that there are people listening to you, that's fine. But if it is just you in a room by yourself, you have to keep reminding yourself, there are definitely people listening to me right now. I'm not talking to myself. As much as it looks and feels like I'm talking to myself in this tiny room with just me and a microphone, there are people listening. So I kind of have to treat it like I'm having a mini conversation with other people, except they just can't answer me.
Yeah.
Or they can answer me on a text and I'll just have to read it out later on or something. But I think that for me, it took a while to find my feet on that.
Yeah. It's really different.
Yeah. It's so easy to feel like you're talking to the masses and making an announcement. But actually the best thing to do is just treat it like you're having a one-on-one conversation, but the other person's just not answering.
Which in my case is most of the time anyway. For some reason, no one wants to talk to me ever. Just keep trying.
Hello.
It's just me walking up in town, just trying to talk to people. Just blank faces. Awkward. Yeah, it's totally different. But what do you prefer? Or it's hard to. Maybe you don't prefer either because they're
so different. They're so different.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing a breakfast show. It's organised chaos. That's the best way to explain it, I think. I love having loads of people in the room. There's 4 of us in the room. There's me, Tom, Jack, and there's our producer Brian, and it is organised chaos. And I love that. Yeah. And I love that it's bouncing off people. And I love that if I come up with this idea, then Jack's going to go, well, I'll tell you what we can do with that idea. We can do this and we can do that. And Tom will go, yeah, well, how about we do this?
Yeah.
And it all just kind of ends up then becoming such a perfect thing that you've all created together. Yeah. And I love that. Love that. But then you've also got, okay, this is me and this is my baby. And I know that I want to talk about this and this is what I want to do with this. And I know that I want to go in this direction with this. Brilliant, I'm just going to do it by myself.
Yeah,
that's great.
It. And you can.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that's going to change that.
They're 2 completely different things. They're so different. You feel very different with each show. And I can't choose.
That's fair enough. I think that was
if I could live in both worlds, then that's where I'm happy.
I suppose to an extent you do. You're doing covering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How much do you cover? Like very frequently or not that frequently?
not as often as I'd like.
Yeah, right.
Pokey, pokey, poke.
Just keep grinding.
Keep poking.
You'll get there.
Yeah, I would like to do more because I just love it so much. If I could live in a radio studio, I would do it.
Yeah, well, it sounds like for most of your life you have to.
Yeah.
It's just always there.
You just got to keep doing it. Just keep poking.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
So writing it sounds like, especially the breakfast one where you're with a team, it's quite a collaborative process. Yeah. How is it? Does that get frustrating? Because you can't push your own idea. Well, you can, but then you have other people to be like, no.
Yeah.
There's like creative differences.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it becomes too frustrating. What is good about having other people around you is that if there is something that you think is a good idea and they don't think is a good idea, they actually manage to put it into words and you kind of go, do you know what, actually you're kind of right.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here so I didn't do that.
Yeah, you've stopped me from doing something really stupid there. Thank you so much.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the more brains the better on a show, if I'm honest.
That makes sense to me, yeah. And it also, you get different perspectives for, not even just like feedback, but just like different ideas you just wouldn't have had.
Yeah. If I'm thinking of something with my brain, with my sort of young female brain, and then I'm getting some tips from someone who is a male brain on the other side of the room, then I kind of go, oh, do you know what? You're actually right. I didn't see it like that.
And that's a really good point as well, to have that gender difference.
Yes.
Which is really useful, especially with Heart, who have such a wide audience. Yeah. Trying to be as like diverse and big a demographic as possible.
Because as much as it comes across that Heart broadcasts to a lot of women, I would say it's very much 50-50.
Is it?
Very 50-50.
Yeah. Because in my head it's like mainly like the school mums kind of like on the school run. Yeah, but then you said earlier about the truckers at 6. Yeah. So it's really,
we have a
wide
huge
demographic.
Variety of listeners, and actually majority I would say in their 20s.
Really?
They're young guys, young girls. Yeah. Some of them are mums, some of them are dads, and some of them are just truckers. And you've got a whole bunch of people, and it genuinely is, I'd say, 50-50, straight down the middle, male, female. Yeah. So you need to tick both of those boxes.
And is it like that all the time? Because like you said earlier, obviously it starts off with the truckers. Is that more like male orientated? And then when it starts to like switch up the school?
It's not.
Really?
It's really not.
Okay. Because I was curious whether, you mentioned earlier about changing the content age-wise. I wondered if you also then changed it to like gender-wise.
No, absolutely not.
And there's not a shift, and I suppose you don't need to. Also, what does that really look like? I don't really know. I'm not trying to cause no sexist controversy or anything.
We're in Brighton. It's very gender fluid down here.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't. You've got every version of everybody that listens to the show. I think, especially broadcasting in Brighton, it's such a fantastically fluid city. Yeah. And then you've got the whole of Sussex where everybody is different. And you've got every version of every person that's listening to the show. So you're not just like, I'm just talking to the school mums.
That's it, yeah.
Because actually, majority might not even be school mums.
For sure.
You're probably mostly talking to a 26-year-old woman who maybe doesn't even want children, who's a businesswoman or whatever. Or maybe you're talking to, I don't know, a nice male couple who actually want to talk about other bits and bobs. Or you're talking to a couple who are in their 40s or whatever, who listen abroad every morning. It's so different. So different that you can't just go straight down the line, I'm just talking to the men, I'm just talking to the women.
And that must make writing even harder. Because you can't like segment, I don't even know what the word is. You can't aim it at a particular person or a group because it is so diverse. So you've really got to.
Yeah, I mean, you can and you can't. It's a weird one. I mean, you can't please everyone. You can't.
Yeah.
And I think most people who listen will understand that.
Yeah, definitely.
If the biggest show on the TV right now is Love Island, I'm going to talk about Love Island.
Yes.
If you're not watching the show, I'm sorry, but you're just going to have to put up with this link.
That's it, yeah.
But then you've got people who are blokes in their 40s or whatever that actually watch Love Island and quite like it.
Yeah.
So as long as you're ticking that box of lovely, we're all watching that and brilliant, I'm going to tell you about this.
Yeah.
But then also you've got the people who don't watch Love Island, but actually they want to know about Strictly Come Dancing. Brilliant. I'm going to tell you about that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't make everybody happy, but I think if you make sure that you include everybody, then you've nailed it.
Yeah, well, it seems to work. Like, a lot of people listen to it. It's my go-to radio station.
Yeah.
To be honest, like when I'm in the car, just put it on Heart.
Thank you for listening.
You're very welcome. It's just good, feel good, isn't it? I mean, that's your slogan. Turn up the feel good, and it is that. Like it's you put it on and it's just like, oh yeah, I feel good about this. This is good, and that's not just the music, but the links as well and the features and you guys. It's a good vibe.
Oh, it's very much a positive.
Yeah,
show,
it really
definitely.
is. Yeah. And it's exactly what you need. Like going to work, you're like, oh, I can't really be bothered, and you just.
Oh yeah, let's be honest. Monday mornings suck.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But it's like, so you put that on, and it's just like, it starts to bring the mood up.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is on a Monday morning get in the car and have someone on the radio go, "Oh, Mondays are boring, aren't they?" You want to go, "It's okay. Hey, look, do you know what? We're going to get you through this Monday morning.
We're all having fun here.
Yeah,
it's all a good time. Got some great news for you.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine.
And
we'll get through this together. Hey, it's good.
And it definitely comes across that way.
Yeah,
and it is a really good vibe.
That's good because that's what we're aiming for.
Yeah, no.
Oh, thank God.
Take that one off the list. Perfect. This was a great podcast. I'm going to come in bold in the meeting tomorrow. Turns out we're doing a good job. So let's move on a little bit because we're kind of running out of time to an extent. But I was curious about... Because it's tricky because radio is a really open medium.
Yeah.
So it's kind of you there and you're not really underneath a character as you would with certain acting. Mm-hmm. But I wondered whether there was a process there. First of all, like the getting prepped process. Like, 'cause I can't imagine you just jump in straight. I mean, it's so early in the morning. You must do something to kind of like get in the mindset. But also, I'm curious as to whether it's almost like a caricature. Like, it's not entirely you on the radio, but it's like you, but like 2 steps up. Or whether you are just like, this is just me and I'm just on the radio.
Well, what do you think? You've been sat with me now for a couple of hours.
That's true, but then...
Would you say that you're talking to Nicola, who's on the radio? Or would you say that you're talking to Nicola, who's Nicola, and they're two completely different people?
It's a good question. I would be inclined with the former. But then what we're doing is also entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of potentially the same issue.
Yeah.
No, it's not even an issue. So do you think if that was the case, it would be subconsciously?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think... I've never wanted to go on air and be somebody that I'm not. Yeah. I would never do that.
Yeah. So, but I don't necessarily think it's a problem.
Oh,
I'm not like trying to...
No, you do it. You've got loads of... radio presenters or presenters that go on camera or go on the radio and they'll be a heightened version of themselves.
Yeah, that's it.
Or they'll be what they think people want them to be. Yeah. Which is where I'd like to think that I don't fall into that category. I don't want to fall into that category. As far as I'm aware, I listen back to links and stuff and I think that's me. That's what I'm like.
Yeah, well, fair enough then. It probably
I think my friends would probably agree with that.
Yeah.
That is literally, that's exactly what my personality is like.
Yeah.
There are certain things that I find funny, certain things I don't find funny, certain things I believe in, certain things that I don't want, that I will be honest about on air.
Right.
That it's that I would never lie on air to the listeners, and that's me, man.
That's good. I like that. Yeah. Like I say, I don't necessarily think it's important whether that's because it's just a style difference more than anything.
Yeah, I know.
But it's just something I was curious about. I was just thinking about it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because I think, well, first of all, the reason I thought of it because I know a lot of like internet personalities, like YouTube video makers, etc. They're often like, yeah, this is me, but it's like me like up 2 levels. Like I'm trying to entertain, so I'm going to be more animated. I'm going to be more excitable. I'm going to be a little bit louder. And I think I fall into that category to an extent. Like when I do my show, well, partially because it's just me on my own, so it's kind of a different vibe. Yeah. If I was with someone, it would probably be different. But I do try and be like more animated because I think it's just more exciting and like more endearing to like listen to.
But you don't have to. You don't have to be.
Yeah. Because
you don't have to be more animated.
No, you're right, and you're an expert, so I trust your opinion.
Not an expert. No, I mean it's a weird one when you think. I think everyone has different levels of what they're like during a day. So
yeah,
I
that's
know.
A good point as well.
So the Nicola at 6:00.
Yeah.
is going to be very different to Nicola at 9 o'clock.
Number 2 coffee
in
Nicola
real life. Yeah.
Versus number 5.
So when it comes to 9 o'clock,
yeah,
I'm tired.
Yeah, sure.
By that point, we've done a full show. It's full on.
Yeah, does that affect
and
you a
I'm
lot?
tired. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And when I get tired, it's like I'm drunk.
Really?
So-
Just everything's really funny.
Sometimes I have to pull myself back a bit
Yeah.
to kind of go, this Nicola should not be on air right now because she's quite clearly delirious because she's very tired today. And sometimes you have days like that where you go, do you know what, guys? I am really, really tired this morning. So I can only apologize for what's going to come out. I don't know. Let's just get this done. But then there are some times where you're like, I can't, I'm so exhausted. Or it's just like, I don't know, there's totally different levels of each person, but I think it's still you as a person.
Yeah, and that is a pretty decent way of putting it, and I think that makes almost more sense than the way that I put it. Maybe maybe I got lost in my analogy somewhere, because I think that does make sense. Like, it's just levels to people. Yeah,
I mean, naturally, if you're presenting anything, you're going to be a slightly different version of yourself.
Yeah.
Nicola on the radio is going to be very different to Nicola in front of a camera, who's going to be very different to Nicola on stage.
That's it.
But it's still me. But just, I know that right now I'm sat in front of a microphone and all you can hear is my voice. So I would need to put more character, I guess, into my voice.
Yeah, right.
Whereas if I'm in front of a camera, you can see me. So it would be,
worry about where you're standing.
You can see me and you can see my face. So there's certain things within my face, facial expressions and things like that I wouldn't have to deal with on the radio, but now I do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on stage. I'm in front of loads of people. I need to be a little bit bigger because otherwise I'm just going to disappear.
Yeah.
So completely different things, but it's all you. It's all versions of you.
Yeah, definitely. So on that note, are you kind of just, you're up and you're ready to go, or do you have like a warm-up process?
I don't.
No? Even just like stretching your voice out a little bit, maybe?
No, don't ever stretch my
don't do that?
voice. I probably should.
Just go straight in?
Yeah, no, I don't stretch my voice.
Because I would have thought they would have taught you to do that, and it kind of would have been instinctual from drama school. Because don't they do that? But like, they teach you all these vocal warm-ups and stuff?
It's vocal warm-ups if you're acting on stage, or if you're...
I would have thought that in your mind that would have translated.
Yes and no. I mean, I'm not having to push my voice any further.
Yeah, that's true.
I can quite happily sit and talk quite quietly as long as I'm closer to the mic and you can hear me nicely. Then I don't have to push anything too far. Lovely. So it's just me having a normal conversation, isn't it? So it's just me having a normal chat with my mates. I don't have to do a vocal warm-up for me to have a chat with you down the pub.
Well,
unless that's what you do.
That's how I get in the zone.
Where you going, guys? Just going to go down the pub. La 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 la.
Yeah. Just give me 5 minutes. I just got a bubble gum. Oh.
But if I'm doing a stage show, like when I'm going to do Panto this year, because I know I'm going to be on stage in front of hundreds of people, I probably will do a vocal warm up because I know I need to push my voice a bit further.
But what about the whole so you're sleeping, right? I'm setting a scenario up. You're sleeping.
Yeah.
Your phone goes off, but it's not an alarm. It's a phone call.
Okay.
So you answer the phone,
and
then they're like, "Were you sleeping?" Because they know.
Yeah.
They know you were sleeping just from the way you sound.
Yeah.
Do you ever? I guess by the time you get into the studio, it's so late. You don't have that problem.
Yeah, I mean, I've been up since 4.
Yeah, so you.
My brain is awake.
And how much do you speak when you get there to plan? Like a fair amount, or because I imagine you're all quite tired. You're just kind of at your desk, just like.
Well, I mean, yes and no, but there are some mornings where where not even a word is spoken until 5:30.
Really? It's my kind of morning.
I mean, but there are some mornings where I'm awake at 4. I leave my house at 4:30. So I know I've already been up for an hour before I'm at work. So I'm up, my brain's focused and awake because I've driven in. I've been listening to some music or something on the way in. And my brain is that's it. I'm up, I'm in gear, I'm ready at 5:00.
Yeah.
And you get in and you go, "Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, lovely."
That's it, and you're just ready off the bat of that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not just rolling out of bed and rolling into the studio.
Yeah, right.
I think that's why we choose to get in at 5. We don't have to get in at 5.
Oh, okay.
We choose to do that.
Yeah.
Because it gives us that hour while we're there to get our brains in gear, to have that moment of, okay, let's prep and do bits and bobs. Whereas there's other radio shows where some people choose to turn up at 10 to 6 If that's what works for them.
Yeah. It's all personal.
Fine, but for us, it's a personal choice. We get in at 5 because that's the best choice for us.
Do you find that you ever still get like nervous before a show starts?
Oh, not anymore. I don't think.
No, you think that's all gone?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, isn't it? I should really be getting nervous. I don't know.
I don't know if it's bad, but I think a lot of people who do stuff like that say they still get like nervous about things even before they start. Even people who have been in that kind of industry for a long time.
I would say I don't get nervous as in like, oh my God, we're just about to do a show. I'm so nervous. I've got butterflies in my belly.
Yeah.
I would say my brain goes into overdrive every morning.
Yeah, so it's like overthinking.
Yeah. Every morning. Yeah. Before every link.
Yeah.
So we'll be in the middle of playing a song. We're playing, I don't know, Liam Payne or something.
Yeah.
And you're sat there going, right, well, this next bit is a bit that I'm setting up. What am I going to say? How am I going to word it? What am I going to do?
I'm exactly the same.
And your brain starts going,
and it starts to get confused.
Yeah.
And then, it's not a good place to start a link on.
No.
A brain that's just like, what's happening?
I would say that, that happens every morning. But I wouldn't call that nerves. I would just call that brain overload.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because I would have equated that with nerves. Or rather, I have equated that with nerves. But I suppose that makes sense. It's not so much
nerves
nervous.
are definitely in your belly.
Yeah.
You know when you're nervous because that's in your belly.
Yeah, it's more just overthinking, which is what I remember I used to have when I did like drama stuff. Yeah. Because I always was like, I'm just nervous. But actually, it's just like, you're just thinking of all like the possibilities. How am I going to do this? Yeah. I need to do it.
What if this happens? What if that happens?
Exactly.
That's not nerves. That's overthinking.
Yeah, that's just overthinking.
Yeah.
But do you get that? Does that tend to go like, so it starts at like 6, maybe it gets, and then like as the day goes on,
no,
it starts to go. Really, you don't like warm into it?
No. It happens throughout the whole entire show.
That's stressful. Does that ever catch you off? Like you start and your brain's still like confused and you just start slurring words or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, make mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're only human.
Oh, for sure. It's easy to do.
The thing is because you're doing so much stuff.
Yeah.
And you're constantly doing different bits throughout the show. The stuff that I was worried about at 6 o'clock, that's been and gone. Done that.
That's it.
Now what am I worrying about next?
On to the next problem.
The thing that I'm doing at 7:30. What's that thing I'm doing at 7:30? Well, I'm doing that. And you're constantly, right, 7:30, done. What's happening at 7:15? Well, brilliant, done. What am I doing at 5 to 7? That is literally how your brain goes every morning.
That's so stressful.
Which is why, as soon as the show is done, you're exhausted.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried like meditation to try and like master that mind?
No.
I wonder if that would help. It's a big commitment.
I'm not a big meditation kind of person.
Sitting still for that long? Nah, thank you.
I can't be doing any of that.
Do you often like listen back to your shows to self-monitor yourself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do it maybe 2 or 3 times a week.
Oh, there's like a group. It's like a group thing. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
So we'll listen back to maybe half hour or an hour of the show. We'll sit back and
do you give each other feedback in that process?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it'll be. You could have done that a bit quicker. You could have done that. It's a lot of it comes down to timing. You've got to get a certain amount of songs out in an hour.
Yeah, sure.
So it does come down to timing. You've got to hit the headlines. So you've got the news at the top of hour. You've got headlines at 1/2 the hour.
Okay.
You've got a certain amount of songs to get in. Timing is everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
If you're waffling on for too long, you're now too late to play that song, which means you're late for the news, which means you're late for this, which means whoever is listening to your show and getting ready for work that goes, oh, the news is on, that's time for me to leave, you've screwed up their morning.
Yeah, right.
Because they're not, 9 times out of 10, if you listen to the radio in the morning and you're listening to the same show every morning, you know what's coming up at what time. You know they're going to play adverts roughly around 20 past. So I know that that's the time I need to leave, or I need to be at this point on my journey at this point.
Schedule your routine.
Yeah. So if you've screwed that up, you've screwed up their journey.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then they're mad at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't want that to happen.
Yeah. So timing is everything. So yeah, we'll sit there, and it's, you know, if I've been waffling on too long for something, then we're at that point in our relationship where they can say, you should have done that a bit quicker, and I'll go, you're right. You're absolutely right. I should have done that quicker. So yeah.
Do you get it where when you're actually like on air and people, Tom and Jack kind of like cut you off when they know that it's happening and they kind of like try and ease that out? So that kind of like there's kind of like an awareness where it's like, I feel like Nicola's talking a little bit too long. They kind of like try and subtly interject to try and keep the link moving.
Yeah, and it's a lot of I mean, naturally you won't see it because we're on the radio, but a lot of show of hands.
Yeah, right, actually, yeah.
Especially having 3 voices on one show.
Yeah, because that's tricky to like navigate that so you don't talk over each other the whole time.
Yeah, which is a natural thing shouldn't really happen when there's only two of you because you're just reading each other.
That's it.
And you know, right, I think you finish your sentence. I'm going to talk here.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. But when there's three of you in a room, it's a lot more difficult. I don't know if Jack's going to come in at some point or if Tom's going to come in at some point. So it's a lot of, I've got something to say, my hand's in the air.
Yeah. Which
means I know that Jack's still talking, but because my hand's in the air, which means I know that you guys are going to look at me and come to me next. Brilliant. Now I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
Right.
And while I'm in the middle of saying something, Tom's got his hand in the air because he's got something to say.
Yeah.
And then you just know, or, I mean, now hands don't really fully go up, maybe once or twice a show. Now you can tell just by looking at each other who wants to say something next.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
is that something that kind of like happened from the get-go, or is that something you guys developed as you started building that rapport?
It was a must right from the get-go.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that kind of industry standard then for like multiple people?
It should be.
Yeah.
That's how I hope it is run on other radio shows.
It does make sense to me. You need some kind of signifier to deal with that.
Yeah. I mean, if you find that there's a bit of waffling going on, you think, actually, I haven't said anything for a while here. I want to say something.
This isn't
put my
fair.
hand up. Come to me for a second. You need to do show of hands. With three voices, you need to do a show of hands.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think we've talked about a lot of cool stuff today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Is there anything you want to like add on? What do you reckon? You happy with what you said? Anything you want to tack on the end? Anything
but I haven't said anything that will get me fired, have I?
Yeah, it's hard to say. You can say no.
I don't think there is anything.
So I'll give you the opportunity.
No, I've had a really nice time. It's
little bit.
Nice having a good chat.
It's fun, isn't it?
Love a good chat.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying all of these.
Yeah.
This is a good little just get to know people, just hang out, really.
Nice.
Where can people find you?
You can find me, like social media wise?
Yeah, or just know your house number.
I live
cool.
at, my phone number is 077. I nearly gave away my phone number just then.
Yeah, you gave away 3 whole digits. The rest is just guesswork.
I nearly did that once.
Really? On air?
Because I do the travel.
Yeah.
We used to finish the travel with if you've spotted anything else, call this number. We don't do that anymore, but we used to do that.
Yeah, right.
And I remember there was one time that I went, if there's anything else you spotted, then give us a call on 07746. blah, blah, blah. And then Tom looked at me as if to go, no. And I was like,
no.
What have I just done? What did I just do? Oh my God. I've just given out my mobile
Did you give the whole thing out, or did you stop me early?
I nearly did.
Really?
Nearly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That would have been...
My brain was just... my brain was just on autopilot. I don't even know what I was thinking. It came out of my mouth.
It's just a phone number, and you're so used to saying your own phone number.
Yeah.
I guess it's just natural.
But I'm also so used to saying the travel number.
Yeah, that's it. It's just when that subconscious mind takes over.
Yeah, where did that even come from?
That's crazy.
I don't even know.
How detrimental do you think that would have been? Do you think anyone would have started calling you up?
Well, yeah, I would have had to change my phone number.
Yeah, that would have been a nightmare.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I would have definitely had to change my number.
Oh no. Social medias then.
Yes. So just search for Nicola Hume. I'm Nicola_Hume on everything. So
that's nice and easy.
Twitter and Insta and all that
sort
of stuff.
How are you?
I am on Snapchat, but I don't really snap a lot. I just use the filters for fun.
Snapchat's dead.
Yeah,
it's got to be dead, right?
Yeah, man.
Insta's where it's at. It's my favorite platform at the moment. I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for coming on. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Thanks for having
me. It's really
me.
interesting. You're very welcome.
Good luck with the rest of your podcast and stuff.
And there we have it. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Creative Connection. I'll tell you what, as someone who works in the radio, I found it as someone who works in the radiator, it's very warm, except for when it's cold, and that's just when it's not turned on. But I found it really interesting and kind of inspiring. I think I said that as well. I think I said that it was an inspiring tale because Nicola really, she just kind of she used the word poke a lot. She kept kind of poking her way forward. She kept kind of pushing people, prodding people, getting people's attention, doing the most actually to try and get where she knew she wanted to be. And I think it's easy to become complacent and kind of just beg, and not even beg, but just kind of expect the world to give you what you want because you're quote unquote talented enough already. But I think Nicola is a testament to just really working hard and grinding and getting what you want. I also found from a radio perspective, it's super interesting about how she, not just she, but how her, Jack and Tom and producer Brian actually planned the shows themselves. Because they have to be so topical, and there's a lot of content. What was that, 4 hours of content they have to write in the morning? And I can't really comprehend how they do that, because as I mentioned, I do a 2-hour show a week, and I struggle finding content for that. And most of the content I use is evergreen, like jokes and stuff, that like features that you can have whenever you want. They're not topical, they're not news based. So I don't know how really they do that and make it engaging. So I found it super interesting to kind of hear all about that. I actually really enjoyed this episode as a whole. I thought it was really interesting. I felt like it was maybe less about the creative process than it was just about her career in industry, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because I think I literally just got back from the gym and I listened to it, and I just found it really interesting the whole time, and I appreciate her for doing it, and obviously I appreciate every guest for doing an episode. Don't forget to follow her socials. Don't forget to follow my socials at The Real Jared Emsee. And if you haven't told your friends about Creative Connection, what on earth are you doing? Okay, send some emails, send some text, put it on your socials, creativeconnectionpodcast.com. Get them to subscribe it on Apple Podcasts. Get them to follow it on Spotify. Get to review it, 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, maybe Google Podcasts. I don't know how Google Podcasts really work, but that helps us so much in this early stages of the podcast release. That's me. Hopefully you enjoyed this podcast, and see you next week for some more engaging content. Peace out.